Hi, everyone. I'm excited today to be talking to Jai Certified Parenting Coach Aimee Schultz about her work as a parenting coach. Aimee, welcome. Will you tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm Aimee Schultz with We Are Coaching, and I support parents who want to rediscover joy in their lives and with their kids. And we build a framework for connection and discipline that empowers parents so they don't have to resort to yelling and punishments and bribes and threats.
I love that so much. It's interesting because you say that, and I think, well, a lot of people relate discipline with yelling and punishments and bribes and threats. Can you speak to the distinction?
Yeah. And I also think, I know for me, I've related positive parenting and this conscious parenting to a lack of discipline. And so for a while, I didn't like it for the years I'd heard about it because it didn't feel like I had a role as a parent in it. But now that I've understood it better, I see discipline more as a guiding force. And I really like the approach of working with your child as on a more of an equal power dynamic. Obviously, there's safety and certain things that as a parent, there is a different dynamic there. But yeah, working with them and just guiding and teaching them rather than using punishment.
Why,
Yeah.
why this shift? I think generation after generation after generation of human beings have been raised with that more power over authoritarian, do as I say, not as I do, what is it? I can't even think of it. Speak and be not heard, listen and do not speak. That is pervasive around ideas of parenting. And I really hear what you're saying about, well, peaceful parenting, conscious parenting, gentle parenting. Isn't that just permissive?
So for me, I not only grew up in a home where there was more of a power dynamic, I grew up in a very, very loving home, but kind of the whole framework of how I saw the world was there are answers for everything outside of me in my church, in adults and others that I was kind of seeking. And so now I have this urge to just connect with myself, to kind of find that, and then to instill that in my children. I have 4, to instill that in them, that they are the authors of their life and they get to discover this. And so the interaction in my parenting is to support that rather than be the director and tell them what's best for them. I do believe that they instinctively know what's best for them, and I can teach and guide along the way.
Why might parents watching this why might they want to reconsider the use of punishments or coercive strategies with their children?
If they have the goal of real true connection, which I think a lot of people don't even know what that looks like or means, what that can even feel like. But if that's their goal, to really be connected to their kids and to really love them and be loved and respected, then those don't have a place in that relationship. They just don't. It undermines that connection and that respect
And trust. Yeah.
and the trust. Yeah. And not preaching that that's a that learning this has caused me to be a perfect mom where I don't yell and I don't resort to some of the power struggles, and I still do, and I always will. But it's a practice of I'm getting better and better at it, and I would love to help my clients through that process.
Mm-hmm. And so talk to me a little bit about the work that you do with your clients to make this shift, and why coaching is so vital to actually living what we're talking about.
Yeah, so with my clients, we focus on their experience as a parent and their triggers and what brings them joy, what their values are. And we kind of use that as the basis of the framework to kind of start digging into what their parenting is like. And then we find their beliefs and what's showing up for them. And we just kind of help redirect them into seeing their kids as like the beautiful little humans that they are, and kind of dispelling all the other beliefs that are holding them back from like just loving on them, and we all have those beliefs. So it's a constant practice for me, as all of us it is. But yeah, that's the work we do, is we work on the parents. And then I also like to support my parents with or my clients who are parents, I like to support them with the strategies, and they can kind of know what it looks like. So as they're practicing what it looks like, they're kind of internalizing it in their hearts. So
Yeah. What happens for children when parents shift the frame from the power over dynamic that you're talking about to relationship with? And so when parents do this work of shifting, you spoke about this power over dynamic that many of us experienced and are sort of reactively reaching for in our own parenting. When that shifts to more of this relationship with model, what changes do you see in your clients' children?
Yeah, the children relax, and we do a lot of work around emotions and stuff, and the children just are able to relax into the experience that they're having, as the parent can really show up for them. So it kind of takes a lot of that pressure off of having to say the perfect thing and show up a certain way, and the relationship kind of relaxes into what it naturally should look like. And then the kids are just feeling more confident in themselves, that they really are wise, and that their bodies are teaching them, and they're learning from themselves and things around them rather than being told everything. So it's very empowering for the children as well as the parents.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that so much.
Yeah.
What might a family be experiencing in their home that might be a sign that it's time to reach out to a parenting coach like yourself, Aimee?
Mm. Yeah, I think as far as the end on the parents, if they're just like, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, I know I shouldn't be using timeouts, I know I shouldn't be spanking, I know I hate yelling. If they're just kind of resisting what's going on for them, I think it's a great time to take a look at working with me or another parent coach if I'm not a good fit, but looking at what's out there as far as reframing how you're acting and believing and showing up for your kids. And then for the kids, if there's a lot of like volatile emotional experiences going on and transitions and things that are just difficult for them to handle, we can support the parent in showing up for their kids in a really loving, connecting way.
Mm. Walk me through what the work is like when you work with a client, a parent. What will they experience?
Yeah. So with the 12-week transformational course, we dig into their values and their beliefs that they have about themselves and their children and kids in general. And we just kind of dig into experiences that are going on currently in their home and interactions they're having with their kids. And we just sit in those moments, and we inquire about what's going on, and we can move into new beliefs as they feel ready to abandon that, the way that those beliefs are showing up. We move into new ones, and then work on strategies for how that actually looks, and we get really explicit on what it looks like for them and their kids, and talk about the results, and they feel it in these interactions as I'm demonstrating the way that they can talk to their child in a certain circumstance. They're like, this is amazing. They feel how much more loving it is as I role play what they could be saying. They feel how much more loving it is for them to show up that way for their kid. And it's awesome. It's so
Yeah,
fun.
because loving is way more fun.
Yeah.
Feeling to be loving than like, I get it. I
And
love
it's
that so much.
easier. It's easier. I really do think it takes the pressure off of saying the perfect thing when you just kind of learn what a child actually needs to feel loved and supported. It takes all this pressure off, and you're able to be very honest and vulnerable with them and just like patient through the whole process. It's really, really natural and authentic when you
Yeah.
really like understand what it's
I
about.
believe at my core that not only is peaceful parenting possible, but that it is preferable. Because
Yeah.
if we diminish a child's confidence, self-esteem, voice, and creativity, there isn't some magical switch in the future that gets turned back on. And so that
Right.
shifts our frame as parents to, wow, it's actually our job to preserve those natural qualities and beauty that a child has rather than squash them
Mhm.
in the name of their greater, better future.
Right.
I love what you're saying, Aimee. It's awesome. If
And the research shows that this is really important the younger they are. And a lot of us parents want to give our children the tools and the resources to really be empowered as adults. And we kind of forget that all, I don't know, I think there's a detachment of, as adults, this is what I want them to look like as they're autonomous and independent. And then as a child, we try to encourage that autonomy and independence, and we forget that like they need us in those early years. And anyway, so it's really important.
The mom of a 16 and 17-year-old, they still need us. Back a little farther.
Yeah.
Aimee, awesome. If someone's watching this and they're curious about learning more or working with you, where should they go?
So my website is thewearecoaches.com. And yeah, they can work with me just week by week if they'd rather do a more traditional format. But I also offer the 12-week course that's really, really beautiful and transformational. And I highly recommend that to start.
Amazing. Thank you so much for doing this work, Aimee. Deeply appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate it.